Hey, I love when you see one number of viewers and then as the show starts, they drop off. So they haven't even seen anything yet. To me, what that's a reflection of is they're just tired of waiting. But they had to wait, like they drop off when it's like 30 seconds left to go.
Oh,
That's what
I
we
see
are,
it as they're so concerned as to whether or not we're going to make it or not.
Yep.
They're just sticking around to keep an eye on us. I'm like, oh, they made it. They made it. I can stop
Okay.
watching.
No, I can stop.
They're super
like-
concerned about our aptitude.
It's like my mom. She's getting ready to call. You're not on. That kind of thing.
What happened? What's wrong?
Well, I had to answer this call, so I couldn't go live. What else could possibly delay?
I'm on now, Mom. Hey, welcome back to another episode of 1980s Now, a weekly examination of the importance of 1980s pop culture and its influence today. My name is Will, and joining me as always are my friends and co-hosts, Kat and John.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody.
I'm laughing because I was practicing in the car earlier, because I knew we were just doing. I was on my way home.
You were practicing what in the car? This show?
Just that. Welcome back to another episode of 1980s Now, a weekly examination of the importance of 1980s pop culture and its continued influence today.
He's still practicing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to get it right one day, John. And
practice pays off.
I was so proud of myself in the car, and now I'm doing it now and I'm hearing myself and I'm messing it up. Anyway.
We're proud of you, Will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you.
Kat's proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey, on today's show, we're going to review current news stories related to 1980s media, including Brent Spiner returns to Night Court.
Yep.
Quite honestly, I had forgotten he was on it, but that's cool. It's really cool. I like to talk about that. And then we got a few stories that are all related to the recent Academy Awards that happened last Sunday. So hang on one second as I clear my throat.
Hey, good job there. I guess we should say something while he's doing that.
Doesn't matter.
I'll try not to sneeze.
Yeah, what you should just say is whatever comes into your head. I guess we should say something. Yes, we should. Are you going to say it?
Don't actually say something. Just say you think you should.
Right. Wait, we are saying something.
Stay literal.
Awesome us.
Oh, no. Did I say that out loud? Damn
I
it.
see two cats in their head. They're high-fiving each other and then hugging. Oh, we are great.
We did say stuff.
Done for the night.
And then we got a number of stories related to the Academy Awards that just happened last Sunday, including did Robert Downey Jr. snub an 80s favorite, Kiwi Kwan? The twins stars reunited for a reason you might not expect. I suppose I didn't see it coming. The film Field of Dreams was lampooned during the Academy Awards, and Kevin Costner has reacted. And our contemporary teens, scared of nuclear war. The director of Oppenheimer has an answer. That's that. That's all we're going to talk about. And then we're going to get out of here. All right.
Well, let's get to it then.
Yeah.
All right. Ready for the news?
Yeah, let's get caught up on 1980 news. Where do you guys have to be? Shit.
Nowhere else.
There's nowhere I'd rather be.
I just got to wash some dishes after this, I think. I got to go to the kitchen. Yeah.
It's happening again. I do have to wash dishes after this.
I wonder if my camera's in the right place. I'm sure it's fine. We'll take a look at it later. Oh, am I saying this out loud?
Oops.
Did I remember to close my internet browser before I came on recording? Hey, as reported by Collider, the Wheelers returned to Night Court. So yeah, as we just mentioned a moment ago, Brent Spiner and his co-star Annie O'Donnell made their debuts on Night Court in December of 1985 as Bob and June Wheeler on the season 3 episode The Wheels of Justice Part 1. The two became fan favorites for their darkly humorous stories of woe, from losing their home, their business, and a dog to a tornado, who was incidentally named Toto, by the way. That's one of the jokes in that episode.
Wow.
To buying the newsstand at the courthouse for an outrageous markup. In total, they appeared together in a number of they appeared together in 6 episodes throughout seasons 3 and 4. I watched every episode of Night Court. I would have been about 14 years old at the time. I don't remember. And of course, Brent Spiner, who would later on become Data in the Star Trek franchise, he wasn't that character yet. So that would be my first association with him. So I don't remember this at all. Do you guys remember this?
No, I didn't watch enough of it. I saw plenty of it, but I didn't see every episode, and I really don't remember them.
Well,
Yeah.
it depends upon your point of entry for Night Court, because my point of entry for Night Court was I hear Data used to be on it. So I then went back and watched a show I never watched to see his Wheeler stuff. Because Brent Spiner was a relatively unknown in 87 when he took the role of Data on The Next Generation. And so I'm like, who's this guy? And you and there was no IMDb yet, but you'd look and see what had he done. And like, he was on Night Court, really? I have that one on tape. And so I actually only saw those for a long time. I wasn't a regular Night Court viewer, so I actually know the Wheelers because of that way, because I came in the other direction.
Not surprised. That's
cool.
No, that would have been interesting for me to see at the time, John, because he was so convincing as this, android. And obviously, as he portrayed the character of Data, he doesn't act like a human. He acts more like an artificial human. And so well, he does it such a great job that I would love to have seen him in anything else. And his portrayal as this character, Bob Wheeler, is as far from Data as you can get. The super intellectual Data is Bob Wheeler, who what thinks West Virginia is the balmy tropics or something like that.
Anyway. Super hillbilly. He just kind of has a big drawl when he talks, and kind of a dim-witted kind of thing. Very anti-intellectual, as you would be in Next Gen.
And I came across a video from 2019 where Spiner told a crowd gathered at the Big Apple Comic-Con that he had hoped that Night Court would be rebooted, but then Harry Anderson, the star, passed away just a year earlier in 2018. But he also explained how he came to be this character. He said he went on the audition. When he went on the audition, he did a character that he would do to entertain his friends when he was a kid. That as teenagers, they would go to, Howard Johnson's or one of those places, Denny's, that type of place.
Okay.
And he would order as this Southern character, this kind of dim-witted Southern character.
Oh boy!
Ultimately became Bob Wheeler.
Wow.
So that landed him the role. Who they were looking for, a character like that, and it just happened along.
Yeah, nice.
He already had it cultivated.
Let me get a grand slam, biscuits and gravy.
And he could do that. He's from Texas. He's from Houston, so he's allowed to do that.
He's allowed.
Yeah.
None of that works.
With regard to his star, Annie O'Donnell, she went on to have play various smaller roles in shows like Grey's Anatomy, Murder, She Wrote, and NCIS. She was also in Transformers Dark Side of the Moon, Black Sheep. Well, after 39 years, the Wheelers are reuniting on Night Court to appear before Harry Stone's daughter, Judge Abby Stone, who's played by Melissa Rauch, who also produces the show. We've talked about this before. And this time, Dan Fielding, who's played by, series regular since the inception, John Larroquette, who once derided the Wheelers when he was a prosecutor, now is forced to defend them in court. Comedy ensues.
No doubt. Cool.
When Bleeding Cool News asked O'Donnell about reuniting with Spiner and Larroquette on the Night Court set, O'Donnell told them, quote, a lifetime went by between when we had seen each other and done the show last. It was like that gap had not happened. It was like we were like yesterday, and it all fell into place.
That's so cool.
It was like we were there like yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So are either of you guys still watching the new rebooted Night Court? We talked about it some early on, and then we've not talked about it in a while.
No, we haven't watched. I watched the first couple when it first came out, but I have not resumed since then.
I bet you will.
Same exact thing. I watched the first 2 episodes and haven't watched again. Now, I did see, they're bringing back Brent Spiner and Annie O'Donnell. I saw they brought back Marsha Warfield. I think it was at the end of last season. And some other folks that were associated with the show early, the original incarnation of the show. So it get me interested, but I never went back.
Yeah.
The other angle, too, I think Melissa Rauch, some of her co-stars from Big Bang have appeared now on Night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's all just stunt casting. I think it's probably like, okay, this is a show. It's not huge in the ratings. Who will get you to tune in? And this is one of those things, to see Brent Spiner reprise this role, I will tune in for that, even though I haven't found the show to be must-watch TV, certainly.
Right.
Sure.
And you're saying you won't be back after that, though, unless they,
Well, I mean, unless I That's why they do it, right? It's like maybe I haven't watched it in 10 episodes and it suddenly got better. Maybe I'll find out when I come back to watch Spiner reprise this role. But I'm guessing it's the same kind of. It would be too cruel. It's like a vapid situation comedy that just feels so rote.
Okay.
Especially after seeing things like, well, I won't talk about it. Plenty of great stuff on there that's way better than that I spend my time on, but nothing wrong with it. Just way better stuff out there. So,
yeah, I think when we first talked about it, I said I enjoy it because it was so much like the 80s show.
Yes, yes.
But I hadn't realized that my sensibilities had evolved to a point where, it, like you're saying, John, it did seem dated and, formulaic.
Yeah. It was amusing to me, but it wasn't enough to take top priority over the other things on my watch list that I'm trying to catch up on.
It's amusing. It'll always be there if I get bored. I don't gotta see it.
Owl says Waffle House is the best. Oh, is this? The comments are a whole other show.
It is. I love it. I love it.
I was talking about where you would get together and do the bit. I'll take them scattered and smothered and covered. I mean, it's related.
It is related to Disney's, like they spin off from there.
Right.
Okay. Karen says, I remember watching Night Court, but it was one of those late night syndicated things I would watch after work. I do remember some old guys who sat in the cafeteria diner. I remember that. I haven't watched it since it first came on. It wasn't a show that aired right away. I think probably years later it's in reruns or syndication, or I don't know if it had enough episodes for syndication. It probably did. But, it's probably on Nick at Night or something like that. But I saw it in the 80s till it went off the air. And I've never seen an episode again.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway. Okay. Hey, another 1980s news per HuffPost. Robert Downey Jr. dubbed the, quote, villain of the Oscars, end quote.
Feels like a reach, but
I know. I need a soundbite. I try to find one. I like to use audio clips from 1980s movies or TV shows when we have our little, what would you call it? I don't know, drops, right?
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah. I want one that says like, this is not news. Something like that. I mean, the closest thing is my, You gotta be kidding. I mean, this isn't news. But anyway, this is how the HuffPost reported it. So if you don't know, as we alluded to earlier, the 96th Academy Awards aired last Sunday, March 10th on ABC. And there were a few connections to 1980s pop culture. Here's one of them. We got a few more, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Robert Downey Jr.
Thank goodness.
I think I hear a cat outside of my door. And I don't mean a cat who's on the show with us. Hang on.
Yeah, I was going to say, Cat's right here. She's not outside. Are you outside, Cat? Where are you? Are you at your home or outside Will's door?
Well, that was part of my big day. I drove 6 hours, and I brought one of my cats with me. Yeah.
Oh, I'm wrong. But he will bang on the door till I let him in. So I gotta. And then you would hear. Oh, Robert Downey Jr. is getting backlash on social media for appearing to disrespect Kiwi Kwan at the 96th Academy Awards. Of course, Kiwi Kwan is one of our favorites from the 1980s who played a short round in the Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom film. And also he played, speaking of Data, he played Data in the Goonies, a very different Data. But,
different Data.
Entirely different Data. So
he played Brent Spiner. Yeah. And who played the Wheelers. He's a genius. It's a Russian nesting doll of brilliance. This year, the prestigious ceremony decided to bring back an old tradition by inviting past acting winners to present awards in their respective categories to this year's winners. And since Kwan won the Best Actor in a Supporting Role category last year for his turn in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, he presented the award for this category this past ceremony. Well, in a clip, Kwan looks very excited when he announces Downey as the winner. But as Downey walks on stage to receive his award for his appearance in Oppenheimer, he fails to acknowledge Kwan's presence in what HuffPost describes as in any capacity. I mean, literally grabs the trophy out of his hands, does not look at him.
Right.
And proceeds to fist bump and shake hands with other actors that are on the stage there.
Yes.
Before going to the microphone and making his acceptance speech. I don't know.
This is big news to me because I thought anyone who got within, a couple of feet of Ki Hai Kwan would want to hug him because to me, he's just so cute. And he is so excited, as we can see. He's excited about everybody, no matter who he was.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
would have said their name the same way. And he's so excited to do selfies with everyone.
Yeah. I've
How
seen that
could
on
Robert
social.
Downey Jr. or anyone not want to just hug him? I don't understand. I know.
Kat, have you ever been in that situation? Not winning an Oscar, obviously. Or maybe you have. I don't know. But like suddenly you're thrust to the center of attention, like you weren't expecting it necessarily. Like when it happens to me, when I receive awards and accolades, I will like tunnel vision kicks in. And
I get it.
all I can see is like, what am I going to say next? Where do I go? Who do I talk to?
Yeah.
Now, Robert Downey Jr. is more accustomed to the spotlight probably than me by a little, but I can imagine, winning an award like that. He might not have been fully self-aware of who he was talking to and looking at. More so, he's like, I can't believe I won kind of thing. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I predict within a week, we'll see a BFF selfie of Robert Downey Jr. and Kiwi Kwan saying, we love each other. What are you guys talking about? That's probably coming. So
I actually totally agree with you, John, because really, that's what I think. Robert Downey Jr., whether or not he was surprised, he obviously had a little speech prepared, but yeah, I'm sure he got that kind of, whoa. I do agree. I can't wait to see.
And it's RDJ. He might have been a little,
Oh, yes.
Actually,
little pre-show.
I think he's clean and sober, John. I think he had to be for the last,
Well, yeah, but it's the
some
Oscars, man. Special occasion. You take a bump every once in a while on special occasions.
Well, John, the BFF selfies.
You don't?
Already...
Oh, it's just me?
I just want to see Cerveza Cristal show up right now.
Oh, yeah. You take a bump of Cerveza Cristal.
Yes.
Cerveza Cristal. So the BFF selfies have already been out, John. They came out almost immediately following the award. As soon as the award was is given, whoever's on stage, it seems like they go backstage and they immediately take pictures with everybody all together.
Oh, really?
So there's a group photo there. There's also the selfie that Kiwi seems to take of him and everybody.
Yes.
One of them, and then there's also a picture of him and Robert Downey Jr. hugging backstage.
Oh, good. Okay.
So there was in these posts, I didn't see any specific reference to the apparent quote unquote snub, but of course you wouldn't, because
No.
the post needs to have a story.
Yes.
Well, I still want credit for the prediction though, because I had not seen the photos yet.
And I guess in HuffPost's defense, but to be expected, they write this article because there's folks online that are outraged. They're outraged. God damn it!
In HuffPost's defense, they are muckrakers. So
yes, that's true, and that too. So folks on social media posted things like, "Okay, I'm so glad I'm not the only one who noticed this. I get this is RDJ's moment, but it's Kiwi's too. He was the most ignored person of the 5 up there. Is it his moment?
Nope.
His moment was last year, I think.
Yeah,
and I love the
you
guy.
got it.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I don't think it's his moment. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Another wrote, it's telling when you see how actors interact in situations like these. In this instance, I feel like RDJ is the type of person that would be rude to waiters.
No.
That's possible. I don't know.
Because he wasn't fully aware and greeted everyone on his way to receive a career-topping award.
Right.
Yeah, certainly.
Shell-stocking moment.
Are they suggesting they thought maybe that Kiwi was just like the guy who hands out the awards? I mean, he did just see him make the announcement.
Right.
He's a famous kid.
Yeah. Could you get me a water? Yeah, thanks. Here's I got my trophy now.
He hands him an empty glass.
Like he's not a waiter.
Takes the award. Anyway, many of Downey's, just like John, many of Downey's fans stuck up for the actor on social media, saying he appeared, quote, flustered and overwhelmed. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
There you go.
I actually
That'd be
think
me.
that would be it.
When I get my Oscar, I might also snub someone. It's not intentional. So just saying it now.
Can it,
Well,
can it
if
be George?
I'm handing it to you, you're not getting away without a hug. So.
Right. Could you believe John snubbed Kat at the podcast awards?
No.
Inconceivable.
Snub George. Snub George.
Snub George instead.
Let's see. Owl
Is that
says,
a hashtag?
hashtag Snub George. Owl says, how would John know Goonies? Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I know who's in it. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's sure. Let's see. Karen says the first thing I remember seeing Downey in was Chances Are with Sybil Shepherd. I saw it with a friend from school, her mom and her mom's friend, and her mom made us cover our eyes when Sybil and Robert were in their undies. Oh, we just posted that picture on our Facebook page a few days ago.
Oh,
Karen.
yeah.
I covered my eyes too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, another 1980s news, and as reported by Entertainment Weekly, former Batman villains reunite. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito appeared at the Academy Awards to present the award for visual effects and film editing. But before they did, DeVito took a moment to acknowledge the, quote, very obvious connection that viewers likely picked up on between him and Schwarzenegger. Well, most would assume that the pair was together, assume that what tied the pair together was twins.
Right.
The Ivan Reitman helmed comedy from 1988. There was another unifying theme. They both tried to kill Batman.
I love
this.
this.
Schwarzenegger points out.
Mhm.
Blue Schwarzenegger played the evil Mr. Freeze in 1997. 1997's Batman and Robin, while DeVito went toe-to-toe with Keaton's Batman as the Penguin in Tim Burton's Batman Returns. And that's our Batman.
Yeah, that's our Batman.
Right.
Yep.
DeVito asked Schwarzenegger, how did Batman beat you? Schwarzenegger explains that George Clooney's iteration of the winged crime fighter used his, quote, one weakness against him, love. Danny DeVito. Love.
John.
Sorry, it's a natural
What am I
reaction.
missing here?
On purpose.
You know, John doesn't like the touchy-feely parts of
Love as a
movies.
plot twist, as a device in movies. Like,
I thought he was
like how will we ever?
orgasmic,
The
maybe.
power of love will save us.
Yeah. I thought you were being orgasmic, John. So I
Wait,
said love, and
okay.
you're like,
So keep that in your head, and I go,
Yeah.
"Bleh." And
He
that's
went,
what you
"Bleh."
think my O face is?
I hope to never find out, but
Well, our OnlyFans spun up, we'll all discover.
yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yeah,
Ooh.
Yes, I know.
just a little teaser.
Don't tease me.
DeVito retorts that his character was thrown out of a window. So Batman killed him. The camera then cuts to a stone-faced Michael Keaton, who's sitting right down in front in the crowd.
Yep.
It's like he wasn't having it.
as laughter rings out throughout the Dolby Theater. And Schwarzenegger says, "You've got a lot of nerve to show your face around here."
I love it.
Yeah. And he's just so perfect, Keaton, right? I mean, look, we saw him in that disappointing Flash film, which had a lot of potential and just didn't rise up to meet it. But he wasn't one of the things to me that bothered me, except for his wig, which was really awful.
Oh.
But other than that, he just, he was perfect, I think.
Wow. Okay.
And I did read recently that he had mentioned that when he went back into the costume, assumed the cowl again to play the character, he said it just felt like, just like Brent Spiner and Annie O'Donnell talking about. It just felt like it was yesterday.
Wow. Yeah. Yep.
Now, here's an interesting point of order that I read just the other day when I was going down a rabbit hole about Coyote versus Acme and Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And the Catwoman film that was canceled. And I read in an article that he actually reprised his role as Batman in that Catwoman film that got shelved prior to The Flash.
Yeah, the background. Right.
Yeah. What'd I say? Catwoman? Batgirl. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Some peripheral Batman character that's not Batman, right? Robin, Joker, whoever. Right. The other movie, the WB. So I'm like, what? There's another reason that it should see the light of day, because we get more Keaton Batman. And yet,
Yep. And they were setting up that he was going to have another film as Batman where he was going to play an older mentor to a newer Batman, character.
Batboy.
Yeah, or whatever. One member of the Bat family. Yeah. I know, it just sucks.
It's probably Dick Grayson.
Whatever.
Doesn't he become Batman at some? I don't know all the comic book mythology. It makes sense, probably.
Yeah, you got a lot of no, Batman is Batman. Everybody else is somebody else. They're Robins that then become somebody else, like Nightwing, But I'm sorry,
Yes.
Batman's
that what it
always
is?
Bruce
Okay,
Wayne.
all right.
Batman's always Bruce
Always.
Wayne is what I meant to say. He's got a
Yeah.
rotating
Okay,
cast of
like-
Robins that become other characters, maybe. Yeah, but
Okay, Nightwing, etc., etc. Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
I think that's that.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all
Whatever.
about that.
That's enough
Okay.
about that. Let's see what anybody says. Anything?
Well, somebody liked when Michael Keaton in the audience was. Oh yeah, Karen says he's like, "Come at me, guys." He's doing a little gesture.
Yeah,
Bring
he
it
is kind of like
on.
bring it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he was trying not to laugh. I watched the clip and he
I
had a
don't.
little,
I don't think you could make him break. He's
No, I
a
don't think-
consummate professional.
but it looked there was a little hint of something at the corner of his mouth.
I don't think so at all. That's Batman. It's Batman. You know what it is? I think really what it is he's got a secret that he knows he's going to kick your ass. And that you're going to fall for his little, come on, I can do it. I think that's what it is, Kat. Yeah, because he does a similar smirk in the film, so he does that same thing.
Okay, all right. So it was full on Batman.
he
He
was
channeled
in
his
character.
inner Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I think he looks great too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
For an old guy.
Hey, what else do we want to talk about? Let's talk about this.
What's this?
Oh, there we go.
You know we can't see the paper, right?
Oh, I see what's happening here. I had an extra story in
We
there.
can hear the paper.
That's right.
I really have one
Right.
one sheet. I'm just
No,
keep moving around.
This. Just let's do this.
Hey, also this week in 1980s news, as reported by Deadline, Kevin Costner responds to John Mulaney's Field of Dreams bit. If you're not familiar, comedian John Mulaney had some fun at the Oscars with the Field of Dreams as he introduced the award for Best Sound at the Oscars for Best Sound. In just under 2 minutes, Mulaney walked the audience through a tongue-in-cheek version of the film's plot, which
It's cute.
when you hear it without the benefit of actually seeing the film, it makes it sound like a movie pitch that would not have been greenlit. It sounds bonkers. And if you hadn't seen it, I do have the clip here I could play for our folks watching here.
Awesome.
Oh, you know what else I had? This I wanted to show. I do have a picture
Oh,
of that.
Oh,
There you go.
there he
There's
is.
a smirk.
There he is.
There's a
There's
smirk.
that sideways. He's got
Yeah,
the
but
bat
that's-
smirk working.
That's the bat
Yes.
smirk.
Yep.
All right, here's John.
All right.
For
I'll let
achievement
it
in
slide.
sound. You know, for years, movies didn't have sound, and then they figured it out. Some people say that the silent era was the golden era of film. These people are difficult and insane. Without sound, we wouldn't have been able to hear such classic lines as, "You're gonna need a bigger boat. I'll have what she's having." And he was in the Amazon with my mother when she was researching spiders just before she died. Or what about that moment in Field of Dreams when we hear, "If you build it, he will come." And then Costner does it. He builds a baseball field. Well, I guess he doesn't build it. He mows down corn, and then there is a field. And then he's like, "I'm going to watch Ghost play baseball." And the bank is like, "You want to pay your mortgage?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm going to watch Ghost play baseball." And then he finds James Earl Jones, who wrote The Boat Rocker, which I thought was a real book deep into my 20s. And he's like, "People will come, Ray." He's the only one with a financial plan. But what's weird is Timothy Busfield pushes little Gabby Hoffman off the bleachers, and she falls down, and she's unconscious. Then Burt Lancaster is Moonlight Graham, and he comes up and he pats her on the back a couple times, and he's like, "Hot dogs stuck in the throat." And then he can't go back in the game. Because I guess there's a rule in Ghost Baseball that if you leave the field at any point to become an elderly ghost and do the Heimlich maneuver, you can't return to the field. I love Field of Dreams. That should win Best Picture. Though they'll probably go with one of this year's.
Yes.
Are you guys familiar with the movie?
I saw it a long time ago. Just one
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Enough to know that's funny.
Yes. Yes. What about you, Will? You've seen it, right?
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies. Yeah, I love Field of
Is
Dreams.
it? Oh, cool. All right. Do you agree with his summary?
Well, I do, except again, it makes it sound hilarious and ridiculous. And the movie is fucking bonkers. And quite honestly, I look, I'm a big fan of the film, but when he was when I heard that summary on Sunday, I was like, wait a second.
Does all that stuff happen?
Well, I couldn't remember how Burt Lancaster's character got in the field, like how he was. I remember him being the doctor and anyway,
Ah.
and it's crazy how that happens. I mean, the movie is a complete fantasy. It's this weird
Yes.
mixture of fantasy that involves sports and
Mhm.
time travel and ghosts. And
Perfect.
it doesn't. It makes its own rules as it goes along, and somehow it works. It was
Mhm.
actually based on a 1982 novel by W.P. Kinsella called A Shoeless Joe. Of course, the film, as everybody knows, I believe, starred Kevin Costner, who was told by some voice that if he builds it, he will come in a cornfield where he's about to lose because he can no longer afford the mortgage on his land.
Mhm.
And then ultimately, ghosts of baseball legends show up in this field once he, plows the corn. James Earl Jones
As
and
they
Amy
do.
Madigan, Timothy Busfield, Burt Lancaster, as you mentioned, are also in it. It was nominated for 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Original Score, and Best Adapted Screenplay.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Anyway, I love that movie. I think it's a hilarious way of summarizing it, but yeah.
This made me want to watch it again so I could
Yeah.
appreciate it more. Go ahead, Will. What?
Yeah, I'll say I can't look. Whenever I see it, I get chills. I mean, like these moments he's describing, as silly as they are, I will watch it after having seen his way of telling the story, and it will still give me chills. I mean, even that moment he
Yeah.
described with the hot dog and all that, it sounds ridiculous. I know, but it's
Well, I mean, his description is factual. He's just putting it in a odd
Yeah.
framing is what he's
Yes.
doing to make it sound as ridiculous. It makes
Yeah.
it sound as ridiculous as it is to an outside observer not knowing the context. So that's why it's funny.
It is. It does make me want to watch it again.
I mean, it's so great. It's one of those movies where, and I want to do. There's some episodes I want to do with regard to some pop culture phenomenon in 1980s, like ghost movies, just generally, and not ghost horror films, but the other ones,
Yeah.
like this one, or like rom-coms that feature ghosts, where people are falling in love with ghosts,
Yeah.
or a deceased love comes back as a ghost.
Right.
Yes.
Any sort of sexy pottery film will do.
Yes. But it occurs to me, and this film I think fits into that category, as oftentimes these ghost movies, much like time travel films, are about trying to recapture a moment, trying to redo a wrong or right a wrong rather.
Yeah.
And that's what this film is, where Kevin Costner is estranged from his father, and then his father passes away, I think. And so this whole film is really about him fixing that. He doesn't know that till the very end, But in that same way, these other characters that are involved have similar kind of little arcs, including the Burt Lancaster character, which it's a really touching moment when he changes into the doctor again. I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil it for you if you haven't seen it, but it's really moving because part of it also is about knowing that whatever you may have a dream to pursue, but sometimes you may change course, and that's better,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
But you sometimes don't know it till after you make the adjustment and see what it brings.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's all these fantastic messages there. Anyway,
I wouldn't worry too much. I think the window for spoilers is probably expired on Field of Dreams, so
30
you're
years,
okay.
maybe? All right. Well, I think they say 30
certainly.
years, maybe 20 years. All right. After the awards,
Most people are like, after 5 years, you're good.
Yep. After the awards last Sunday, Kevin Costner took to social media, or rather, took to the social media account of his band. I didn't realize he had a band.
Yeah.
His band, Kevin Costner and Modern West,
Mhm.
where he retweeted a video of Mulaney's bit that I just played you, and he wrote, "quote Not a bad summary." With a smiley or a laughing emoji.
Yeah. Good. Good.
In 2021, Costner took part in the Field of Dreams Major League Baseball game in Iowa, which was set in a special purpose stadium built near the original movie set. At a pregame conference, Costner admitted he still felt an emotional connection with the film, saying, quote, "I'm moved by it. Somewhere along the line, if you have some unfinished business, that movie starts to take over." Yeah, again, it's that.
Mm.
Chills just thinking about
Wow.
that.
Neat.
What's really neat is after the so when they filmed this back in the 1980s, to have the baseball field in this cornfield, the movie producers had a spot they picked out, and it was perfect, they thought, because there were no buildings that would get in the way from the sun. So they had a clear line of sight from the sun, which would make perfect, for their shooting. But it turns out that the area of the cornfield they wanted actually fell on a property line. So there's two different people that own that land. So they
Mhm.
cut a deal with these two different families to be able to build this baseball field and a barn and a house, all for the purposes of the film. When the movie was over, the families left them there for the most part.
Oh, no.
One of the families eventually, after a few years, knocked their, did away with what part of the set was on their land. But they did restore it a few later. They did restore it a few years later. And then in 2007, that owner sold her portion to the other family, now finally putting it in the hands of one. In October of 2011, it changed hands once again, now being owned by a private partnership called Go the Distance, which, if you're familiar with the film, is one of the phrases that the voice tells Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones' character. And they have maintained it the way it was ever since, holding special events there. In fact, they have occasion have a ghost baseball team play there for audience to watch.
That's so cool.
Under the new ownership, as of 2011, visitor traffic increased from 65,000 to 100,000 visitors per year. And there's actually a book that came out in 2002 where they chronicle how this make-believe location, which saves this family in this film because of the unusual way they repurpose a cornfield, actually turned into a real and tangible place that has provided fulfilled some sort of wish, provide some sort of wish fulfillment for hundreds of thousands of people now, and an income for this now for this company, but prior for the families that own the land.
Yeah.
So literally, it was built and people continue to come. I mean, that's the thing with it. Although I'm curious, how do they get ghosts to come and play? Is that a special arrangement they have?
It's I think what are this called? A Ouija board's involved?
Oh,
Kind of just a seance. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Ooh. Hey, there's a question in the comments. Is it he will come or they will come? I was questioning that too myself.
Most people think it's they, but it is in fact he,
Wow,
because
great.
spoiler alert, the voice is telling Kevin Costner that if he follows the instructions, his father will come.
Yes. Okay.
Not the team, his
Yeah.
father. Yes, as John
All
points
right.
out.
Very
Because
good.
as I alluded to earlier, he has some unfinished business with his father that he needs to resolve. And they do resolve it by playing a game of catch.
Aw. Yes.
And then the film ends.
How nice of his dad to make him do all that manual labor in order just to have some resolution. I could just come and talk with you, but first tear down a bunch of corn and then we'll talk.
Yeah. Well, that alludes to another one of the mysteries of and they or he is not a mystery. If you watch the movie, it says he. Who is the voice saying that? And it's, because it's not the father. It's not Shoeless Joe. We don't actually know. We're never told. And in fact, there's still a secret maintained as to what actor provided the voice. The author of the book says he was told that Ed Harris provided the voice.
Oh.
But that's never been confirmed, and other folks had different theories, including maybe Ray Liotta, who plays Shoeless Joe, or Kevin Costner, who's the star of the film. But those aren't true or right.
All right.
Anyway,
We never know.
there you go. It's he. Look it up. Trollbot in the comments. You're on a computer, right? Go to Google. It's not my job. Anyway. Let's see what folks say. Troll says it's the Mandela
Mandela effect, no doubt.
Yeah, probably.
No
it is.
doubt.
Alice says great baseball flick. Darth says, hey, did you guys hear X-Men 97 showrunner was fired by Disney? I did. It's quite a shake up there. The X-Men 97 animated series is coming to Disney. It's sort of picking up where the old X-Men show left off when it got canned.
Okay.
But
the
the
animated
showrunner,
one?
whoever, what's that? Animated, yeah.
The animated one? I see. Yeah.
With that classic theme. Yeah, the theme song. Yeah, they had high hopes for this showrunner that they brought on, only to fire him just the other day. Karen says, then that reminded me of Dirty Dancing. What reminded you of Dirty
Patrick
Dancing?
Swayze, because we were talking about you referenced ghosts and pottery.
Oh, I did.
movie.
The sexy pottery. Yeah.
Yep, that made
Oh,
Karen
Let's say
think
that.
of
Right.
Swayze, and then
Gotcha. Which led Karen to be reminded that Eric Carmen just passed. The singer of Hungry Eyes, and was a member of the.
Yep.
What group was he with before that?
was
Was he the Raspberries? I think
I
so.
don't know. I think I'll use Google.
Ask Trollbot.
Yeah, use Google, Cat. Come on. We'll just jumping on the viewers. You too.
Yeah, he was the lead. He was the lead singer for a band called the Raspberries. All right. Hey, finally, look now, Kat. You got to admit this show is definitely singing along, right? This show's gonna be like a half hour long.
Yes.
And now it comes to a screeching halt with the latest news item.
And finally, in 1980s news, as reported by Entertainment Weekly, Christopher Nolan's son told him that, quote, young people aren't concerned about nukes. With over $960 million in box office returns, Oppenheimer was the third highest grossing film of 2023. And it's the highest grossing biopic ever made.
Wow.
Huh.
Gosh.
Is that a fair thing? I guess so. It's, right? There's no reason to say that it's not. It can't be compared with other biopics. You know, whether it's Queen, Elton John. I'm trying to think of other ones that recently came out.
Yeah, I would argue this is not quite a biopic. The focus is heavily on Oppenheimer, but it's about the entire situation. But
yeah,
they can call it what they want. Whatever category helps them tick a box. That's okay.
You're right. Would they consider Spielberg's Lincoln a biopic?
Right. Just because someone historical is in it does not make it a biopic necessarily. But okay, you know, he's the director. He knows what he intended. So I'll let him have this one.
Yeah, and I don't know that Nolan's necessarily touting this, but Entertainment Weekly is. Anyway, for folks who don't know, it tells the story of J. Robert Oppenheimer, played by Cillian Murphy, from his days as a university student to his role in developing the atomic bomb with the Manhattan Project to the 1954 security hearing that effectively ended his career. And I will never watch it.
Oh, no? Why not?
No.
You mean you'll never watch it again, or you'll never watch it?
Never watch it a first time.
Is it too depressing? Anxiety producing?
Yes, all those things, Kat, for something I want to talk about. But I guess before we get there,
but before
first,
look, after accepting the award for Best Picture and Best Director, Oppenheimer writer-director Christopher Nolan told the press that his kids weren't all that impressed with the subject matter of the award-winning film.
Yeah.
And he realized that making a movie about the issue might be able to move the needle. Quote, it was very striking to me when I first got involved in the project. I told one of my teenage sons what I was working on, and he actually said to me, well, young people aren't that concerned about nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
While Nolan clarified that he purposely never makes a film to send a particular message to audiences, he did express his hopes that he may be able to help younger generations understand the threat of nuclear annihilation. You gonna say something, John?
Yeah. And this film is not going to help raise any kind of awareness about it. So not having seen it, spoiler alert, so a nuclear bomb goes off in Japan. So it's a thing that happens in the film.
Yes.
But it's the Star Wars The Phantom Menace of the nuclear bombs going off, because it's like it all takes place in the Senate. You don't see the action. You don't see a bomb happening. You don't see any kind of devastation. You hear about it. You hear people talk about it. You hear hearings about it. But this film is the political side of that story. And that's not going to get... Look, I learned about nuclear war by watching The Day After in prime time. And I'm like, that's terrifying. Now I know what can happen if a nuclear bomb goes off. And this film doesn't really tell you. It tells you, oh, you'll be in trouble with Congress, but it doesn't tell you what kind of devastation it provides, other than inferring it from the goings on during the Senate chambers. Young Skywalker. It's not the action. It's just the political end of it. So Oppenheimer's not going to help make anybody more aware of a nuclear threat. Yeah.
All right. Good point. I haven't seen it, and it doesn't sound very compelling.
Karen agrees with me. It says also it's too long at 3 hours. Owl says, I enjoyed it, but it could have been shorter by 90 minutes. That's a big chunk. That's like a third of it, or half of it.
Yep.
So says,
to give you an example, Will and Kat, I will tell you that I want to say the bomb actually drops on Hiroshima and Nagasaki at about the middle of the movie, if that gives you any kind of idea as to what the movie's structure is.
Okay.
How do you
It's
know
like,
so much
build
about it?
up, build up, build up. Something happened. No, I have. You're the one that hasn't seen it.
Oh, I thought you said you haven't seen it.
No, I have seen it. Have seen it.
I thought he
Right.
said that too, Will, but I think
Yeah.
he was
Oh,
referencing
no.
you, like, okay, you not having seen it,
Mm.
and then he was
Yeah,
giving us
you not
details.
having seen it, right.
It took me a minute
Yes.
to realize, yeah.
So imagine there's another 90 minutes of what happens after the
Mhm.
bomb drops that all happens in, people's offices and, oh, we're in big
Right.
trouble and you're being interrogated. And
Yeah.
it's not the kind of thing that's going to make young people go, ooh, they're going to fall asleep.
Yeah,
Yeah, and,
that's what it sounds like.
And Marcus writes, young people are stupid.
Nope.
Um,
By nature. That's me too. I was when I was stupid. Yep.
Misso says, still
Yeah.
haven't seen Oppenheimer, but have loved all of Nolan's stuff so far.
Me too.
Marcus also writes, it wasn't Midsommar bad. I
Oh,
want to see that. I heard that's
What's
terrifying.
It's a pretty good movie. Yeah, it's got a lot of
Okay.
depth to it.
But
Wow.
it was miserable. It was a miserable hour and a half, and then there were 2 hours left.
There you go.
I don't want to see
Yeah,
it.
Oppenheimer.
Yes. And it was not going to be anxiety inducing because, I'm
Yeah.
old enough now that and I'm on medication that I won't get so anxious about these things.
right.
But that said,
Will took a little bump before the show. You're going to get up for it.
yeah. That's, I may add that audio in now, Kat. Your suggestion, that sounds like a good one for the audio podcast. But that said, yeah, nuclear annihilation was one of the big threats looming over our head in the 1980s.
Yeah.
And I started making a list, and I'll see if you guys can help me add to this list. Okay, these are all the
Okay.
things
Okay.
that I can think of that we were told were going to kill us in the 1980s. Some of these
Okay.
things we've talked about on this show.
No doubt.
Sure.
Nuclear war,
Yes.
like I
Yep.
just
It's
mentioned.
right up there.
Oh,
Tylenol.
yes.
And that larger, you could
For,
say
for a time. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween candy. That just goes,
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Mhm.
AIDS,
Razor blade.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
especially when they didn't know how it's transmitted.
Right.
Terrifying.
Right.
Yes.
Well, you're
Yeah.
talking about the disease, not the diet candy. It's two different things, although that could kill you
Either.
too, I suppose.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there was a warning on
Yeah.
there.
It's a warning. Might give you the other kind of AIDS. We don't know what we don't know what causes it yet.
AIDS may give you AIDS. You're like, great, that's why I'm buying it. Why do they spell it 2 different ways?
It's really confusing.
Kidnappers.
Yeah.
That you'd be
No,
abducted
yeah.
by a
Stranger
kidnapper.
danger.
Mm-hmm.
Aliens that would be abducted by aliens.
Yep.
Oh. I could only hope.
He's still waiting on that.
He's waiting for the probe.
Why doesn't anybody love me?
Well, it's not. It's not the probe specifically. It's the aliens in general.
Oh,
If the probe's
that's a
required,
t-shirt you
okay,
wore.
but it's not the thing.
Not the T-shirt with the arrow on it. Okay.
It's not your
And
motivation.
the final one I have
Pointing
here-
down. Probe
The
stupid.
final one I have here is demons, as in possession mostly, or someone else being
Ah.
possessed. How's
Uh-huh.
those things? we're told to.
Yeah. Mhm.
Let's see.
There was there was the D&D scare around there, and the demons that associated with that. So any kind of Satanism, sure.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You're right. We
that's-
could write
but
add
that's kinda-
heavy metal music and role playing games.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yep.
Marcus says Arnold from the future.
Yes.
Oh, and Colts. Yeah, Colts. That's a good one too. Yeah. Oops.
Colts,
Yeah.
Colts.
horses,
Not colts.
Colts.
Not
Colt
little
Seaver.
horses. No baby horses.
Colts.
Colt Seaver.
Oh,
Like-
Colts. Got it. I'm like, who's Colt Seaver? What are you talking about?
It's the fall guy.
No, that's Colt.
Colt Seaver. What are you saying?
Colts.
Yes,
Colts. You're saying,
Yes,
not Colts.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, I just thought of another one. I just
Colts
thought
are
of
gonna
another
get
one.
me. Here they come.
That another thing we should fear in the 80s. Salt. Salt?
Why salt? What? Why salt?
That was a whole big thing that came
bad
out
for
would
you.
give you high blood pressure and kill you.
Okay.
And there's the
All
seesaw.
all right.
First, eggs were bad and good, and then bad
Eggs.
again. So eggs for a time.
Mhm.
Lots of
Eggs,
foods.
too.
Lots of
Yeah.
foods. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Bacon. Any kind of
All right, so I got like a dozen.
every
things
food's
so
bad
far.
at some point.
Yes. Nobody cares if bacon's bad for you because bacon.
No.
But
Right.
so
because
look,
the Colts love it.
And this got me thinking. So this whole thing. All right, we're moving on. John is literally beating a dead horse, or maybe not literally, but figuratively beating a dead horse. Dead colt. This got me wondering though, right? Because it's not that the world has necessarily fewer nuclear weapons than it did during the 1980s, although it may, but it probably doesn't.
Wait, let me just say, we have enough.
We have enough. We've always
More than
had
enough.
Right. It could be fewer than we had at the time, but there's plenty to go around.
Yes.
Yes.
What was the statistic in the 1980s was between us and Russia, we could kill the world over like 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
many.
over and over and over. Yeah, we have plenty.
It's like hitting 30 seconds on the microwave when the one goes out. Just do it again.
Yeah. When it's down to 1, boop, 31. I don't want you to beep. Boop. Yeah.
Another launch of ICBMs. But if you guys recall as well, because I remember this in the 1980s, and maybe it's not marketed successfully enough today, is the doomsday clock. So if you don't know, the doomsday clock was actually founded in 1945 by Albert Einstein and Robert Oppenheimer, who and the other folks who helped develop the first atomic weapons in the Manhattan Project. That's part of the subject of the Oppenheimer film.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That was fully a third of the movie. You should have watched it.
I'm never going to watch that. I'd no sooner watch the day after again, like you said.
I've watched that. It's hard. It's hard to watch because it's an 80s thing with pacing, but it's still cool to watch remembering it.
The bulletin. So along with this doomsday clock, the bulletin of the atomic scientists. I'm saying, but whatever. No,
I love when he does that.
this is a long ass sentence. Too many commas. I'll just read it literally here. Founded in 1945 by Albert Einstein, J. Robert Oppenheimer, and University of Chicago scientists who helped develop the first atomic weapons in the Manhattan Project, the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists created the Doomsday Clock 2 years later, using the imagery of apocalypse, midnight, and the contemporary idiom of nuclear explosion, countdown to 0, to convey threats to humanity and the planet. It turns out that the Doomsday Clock is set every year by the Bulletin's Science and Security Board in consultation with the board of sponsors, which includes 9 Nobel laureates. So a bunch of smart people. And it's this clock that's been, at least for a time, I don't know that people are so aware of it anymore, but it's a universally recognized symbol of the world's vulnerability to catastrophe, global catastrophe, at the hands of human-made
of us, right?
Yeah, us. Yeah.
Right.
So
not an asteroid. We're talking about self-imposed.
Yeah.
So the closest we were. So again, the closer you are to midnight, the closer we are to global destruction. In the 1980s, the closest we ever were to midnight was at 3 minutes to midnight.
Wow.
This was.
That's a great name for a band, by the way.
Closer to midnight.
This was following further escalations between the U.S. and the Soviet Union during the ongoing Soviet-Afghan War. It was following this period of time, or during this period of time, that that Reagan became determined to win the Cold War. And part of that was showing your might in the form of nuclear weapons. The farthest we've been since the inception of the Doomsday Clock is in 1991, when we were 17 minutes from midnight. And that was at a time where the United States and the Soviet Union had signed the first Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. And the Soviet Union had dissolved shortly thereafter.
So how far back does the clock go? Do you know? Is it a day, or is it like all year? Or like, how close to the ragged edge are we? Does it start at 12:01 in the morning and then ends at midnight, or you know what I mean? Because 3 minutes didn't sound so bad when it was an hour. It's an hour. Okay, good. Whew.
Yeah, I think it's an hour. But
if it's 3 minutes at the end of a year, you're like, oh crap, we're super close.
And the furthest away from midnight was only 17 minutes.
17
away.
minutes?
Yeah, those were the heydays. We're like, happy days are here again. I'll watch a movie about Oppenheimer. That's how I was in 1991.
Wow.
Well,
They missed their window for Will.
Okay, so 3 minutes was the closest in the 80s, 17 minutes the farthest away. Aren't you wondering where we are today? While citing the deteriorating state of the world, the board set the clock. Because I was thinking, look, maybe this is why kids don't know. Either they don't know the clock or the clock is 30 minutes to midnight. And we're like, you know.
Yeah, who
fine.
cares?
No, the reality
Time
is
to
there
watch
just hasn't been
Seinfeld.
there's not enough TikTok videos about this. That's what this is. So,
Oh.
citing the deteriorating state of the world, the board set the clock at 2 minutes to midnight in 2019
Wow.
and at 100 seconds to midnight in 2022.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
In 2023, the board expressed, quote unquote, heightened concerns and moved the clock to 90 seconds to midnight.
Jesus, you
The
just,
closest,
you just heightened my concerns. Jeez,
the
really?
closest to
90
global
seconds?
catastrophe it's ever been. Wow. And they cited in part, they said it's not the entirety of this because part of it is climate issues and stuff along those lines. But in large part, it was because of Russia's threats of using nuclear weapons with their war against Ukraine and most recently against others.
Yes.
Well, this year, they just did it in January, just a couple of months ago, they set the doomsday clock again at 90 seconds.
Wow.
Not because they said things are stable, but because we continue to face an unprecedented level of danger.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they do say, hey, folks, you know, you might feel scared, uncomfortable, concerned. The good news is you can do something about this. The world can do something about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you, me as one individual, and I know as collectively, you know, maybe we have some political power, but as one individual, I don't feel like I can do anything. Or a million of us couldn't do anything. I'm very cynical, and I won't get political on this show about it, but
Right. All I know is I suddenly am far more anxious than I ever was in the 80s.
Yeah, I felt super cool about living in the 2020s until you said that. Well, it's way better now. Certainly it's way better. People know, oh no, it's way worse.
Oh, no.
Miss So says getting closer to midnight every year. Karen says, surprisingly, we weren't more worried about guns. You mean in the 1980s or you mean now? Because I would say, just based on what I read from this board, is, you know, we're talking about global catastrophes. We have a big issue with guns in our country here in the United States that other countries don't face, but it's not a global concern. So that might be that.
80s, she says. In the 1980s. Yeah.
Do you think part of it's probably awareness? Like I was not aware of the information you just shared. And then there's kind of like the name of it sounds very 80s. The Doomsday Clock. It sounds like there's a picture at the, you know, the DC Hall of Villains headquarters with a picture of Justice League above it. And they're like, any moment now, we'll destroy the Hut of Justice. There's something, you know, goofy going on.
Right.
You know, it isn't like, how urgent is it? It's the Doomsday Clock. It sounds like, you know, a bit on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
DC just did DC did a comic book run a few years ago, Doomsday Clock.
Did they?
Oh.
Yeah, about 5
Coincidentally. Yeah. Now, was it related to the nuclear threat thing? Or
I don't recall.
Dr.
It was really
Doomish.
weird because it got to a point where it was a crossover with characters from the Watchmen world. And so
like
it
a
may
blue
have
naked
been,
guy? That's the only Watchman I know.
Yes, he's part of it. This is Manhattan, or Dr. Manhattan. But
That
what
him,
happened,
yeah.
it was weird. It was supposed to come out like with one issue every month, and then the story was going to conclude after like 12 months. Well, they did like 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and then they started taking longer to come out and longer and longer. And at some point I was like, I'm not reading. I lost interest. I stopped buying them. So I don't know.
I was
got
hoping you were
foreign-
about to say, and then they ended it abruptly, just like if nuclear war had happened. That would
Because that's uplifting. Yeah.
Hey.
be story's over. See what you did to yourself. Yeah.
Right.
Sad.
Wow.
What else? What else? Anybody else here? I know there's folks chiming in about stuff here.
Yeah.
So Nick said something, but I'm hard time catching up with what he was talking about. Nick says,
He
did the
mentioned
Doomsday Clock?
Doomsday Clock before you did, and then he says,
Oh, is
yeah.
that right? Oh, there you go, Nick. We're simpatico, as they say here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. And Darth also says, "Hey, Will, Star Trek is going to Warner Brothers. Is that right? I can't imagine. Now, I happen to know you hear stories Warner Brothers might be looking for a new owner, and it seems some folks think that their strategy of shelving stuff, films before they're instead of and writing them off for taxes, instead of actually putting them out there, maybe trying to make the company as lean as possible and attractive as possible to a buyer. So I would think if anybody in that structure, Paramount might buy Warner Brothers. But I don't know that's Paramount. That's got to be one of the biggest money getters, right? Consistently, Star Trek. That's
Right.
the
Why
cash
would
cow.
they
I
sell
can't
it?
imagine.
Yeah.
That they
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Name another CBS franchise still going on for 50
Right.
years.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of spinoffs they have on the air right now alone, I think, are testimony to them.
And they have more coming in production currently. They're not.
Oh.
Paramount they're dialing back, but they're not dialing to zero. You know what I mean? They're dialing back,
Yeah.
but keeping their breadwinners up front.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, sadly, ultimately, one company's going to own all of these things, and it's going to mean more prices, higher prices, and less choice, less competition for.
A doomsday clock for that.
I mean, I think we're down to 3, right? We're down to 3 companies that own every media in the world.
Yeah.
And in the 80s, it was dozens and dozens and hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there you go. That's also depressing. All right. So on that note, hey, that was our show. Go hug your family.
That was fun, Will.
Tell somebody you love them.
The last news item. Oh man.
Tell somebody you love them. Well, hey, we got some funny comments here that funny comment here we could talk about after we say our thank yous, Kat, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, after we say our thank yous.
Oh, yeah.
Are you not going to play the closing music or closing?
Oh,
music?
yeah. Thanks, Kat. I forgot about that. That was 1980s news. I wish I had the sound of somebody weeping.
Well, I was just going to say I feel better now after the music,
Oh.
and you just you
Oh, wait,
negated it.
yeah.
And then you went weeping.
Thank you. Okay. Phew. Much
Thank
better.
you. How about this one here?
I don't like everything the way it is now compared to the way it used to be.
That's pretty doomsday.
That was our
right?
entire segment.
90 seconds left on the clock.
Karen Flieger thinks we should have a Wilhelm scream
Oh, yeah. I don't have that on the board anymore.
In
but yeah,
every
that-
show.
in
That would
every
be a good
show.
one. Yeah.
And speaking of Karen Flieger, our show is brought to you thanks in part to our early adopters, Rick
Yeah.
Parker and Karen Flieger.
There we are.
That's
Thank
right, Glenn. Because we liked it. We loved it. Glenn gets it.
And thank
Yeah.
you especially to our Secret of Our Success level Patreon supporters, Matt Marino, John
Yeah.
Henderson,
Good
Brandon Greer, Marcus Taylor, Tony Great, Nick Guillory, and Craig Coletta.
All right.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yes.
Oh, Miss
Yes.
So and Glenn are both offering hugs. Hugs to you guys as well. Thank you.
Oh,
Feel
Aw.
better because of that.
back.
Aw.
Hugs.
That is good.
We love you
Thank
guys. Hugs.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
take
Hey.
it.
Yes. And look, we are so grateful for your hugs.
Mhm.
We do appreciate cash too. That'd be great. And so we're grateful for all those folks that we just mentioned that help us keep the lights on every week and produce the show. Whether you think it doesn't look like it costs any money, there's costs involved.
Yeah.
Embrace us with cash. We love hugs.
So if you can help us, please, you can, if you want to give us money, just go to patreon.com/1980s now. And you can find out ways. There's plenty of free ways to support us too, including just sending us an email or a post on Facebook, following us on YouTube. Any of those things help. Seriously. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny, right? Like, I mean, look, our Facebook for some reason is now blowing up in the last 30 days.
Ah.
But when I go out to publicists and say, hey, I would love to talk to your, someone that you represent, and they think, well, how many subscribers do you have? So those
Mhm.
kinds of things help.
Yes.
Anyway, hey,
7.
just leave a comment or send us a note like ones we've got here. This one is from Terrence. Terrence writes, very impressed by the podcast. Given that this is a show about 80s nostalgia, may I suggest adding a 4th talking head? But it must be a puppet. Ratings through the roof. Oh, Kat, that reminds me. Wait, I got to
Yes.
get it.
Oh, I can't wait to see. I would love to have a puppet as part of the show. John, I know you'd be on board. You'd be on board with a puppet, yes?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yes. Oh, yes. Oh,
I
yes.
still have my Will puppet
Yes.
from several episodes ago. And
I
Will.
love it. Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
Look.
there's a John puppet too.
I need a puppet. Ah,
Kat always has something nearby.
I have a pocket ninja nearby.
There you go. You know
That'll
what I
do.
should do?
Oh, my gosh.
I should really
It's Will and Gobo.
do true crime this way.
Oh, please. Oh,
Didn't you try that
please.
once?
December 19... Oh, shit. It was December 1980. Fuck, my glasses. Hang on.
Amateur.
This is amazing.
December 1987. In Field of Dreams, they said he, not they. Oh, shit. Anyway, something like that.
Please, yes.
All right, yeah, so that's a good idea. We should have an all-puppet show.
Later.
Yes.
Bye, cat.
That was
See ya.
aside for now.
Bye, Gumbo.
Marcus says John isn't going to be able to stand up for an hour. Because John loves puppets.
It does. It's true. Right. Puppets make me go per will.
You know, you got to make puppets for all of us here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and we also got a note here, and I'll be quite honest with you. I didn't respond back to this person. I don't know if this is a joke or if this is a automated email where they're soliciting for.
Oh boy.
But this is what they wrote.
Take a
I'll
drink.
say this is from KD. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
They wrote,
Wine?
do you guys have an OnlyFans? Your chemistry on the podcast would be great on the format. Love. Now,
So, like, is that a thing? Do people do OnlyFans as a group?
John, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
John.
Look, I don't subscribe to very many OnlyFans pages, so I don't know.
Yes.
Really?
I've never paid for OnlyFans either. But I'm assuming anything you could imagine is on there. Well, you have to pay. I keep trying to watch
Podcasts?
stuff. You have to give them a credit card.
Welcome to episode 5 of the podcast. I mean, what's going on in the podcast? I don't understand.
What could we possibly do?
Well,
I
okay, so
just-
Kat, don't ask that question,
Yes,
Kat.
yeah.
Don't ask that question.
look. Okay.
Yes.
OnlyFans is primarily associated with adult things that people pay to see.
Not only. I understand.
But you're right. OnlyFans a couple of years ago started something is called like OFTV, which is for non-adult things, and it could be anything. They have yoga instructors on there, cooking shows, that sort of thing. So it may very well be that they were suggesting that you'd be willing to pay it to see us on OnlyFans because that's how much they enjoy the
bet
audio
they would.
podcast.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, KD, you could see us for free on Facebook or YouTube where we're streaming right now.
But
Oh,
But if we
crap.
do create an OnlyFans, we'll announce it right here.
Mhm.
maybe this is an opportunity for the cash that Will was talking
I
about.
guess.
Wait, what?
Could we get some cash from this? If we
Certainly. Yeah.
Oh,
Just-
from subscribers. Yeah. You're saying, yeah.
I just want to say, Kat, if
Yeah.
if at any point in the next 2 minutes Will says it's time to play, I'm turning off my camera. Just
Huh. What would the thing that we'd be playing that you'd be concerned?
I don't know. That's
Oh.
why I'm concerned.
I will also be concerned
Just-
because you tend to have a logical approach to things, John.
Right.
So I'll follow you.
Well, yeah. Will he sets up this email, a wonderful email from KD. We talk about it a little bit as well. It's funny that you bring that up because, and then here we are with our pants off on the podcast. Suddenly, I don't know what it is. That's why
It's time to play strip poker. Is that what you're thinking?
that'd be tame. At least
Yeah.
I have a chance to keep my pants on.
Well, pants aren't going to matter. I can't see your pants. I could take my pants off right now, and it's not going to
You
make a
could have on
difference.
gum pants and we wouldn't know.
That's true.
Gum pants.
Like gum pants.
Hey, I just remembered that we advertised we were going to give something away. So there you go.
Oh yeah.
So let's do that.
Oh,
By the way,
Do that.
what
Look,
are we giving
for folks-
away, Will? What are we
For
giving
folks
away?
watching, 'cause
if
we'll
they're
cut all
just
this-
here for the giveaway, they're missing out on so much more if they're just waiting for the giveaway. Just
we're going to cut all this garbage out of the audio show. But I was having technical difficulties that really just screwed up my schedule. All right, hang on. I got an idea.
man. Okay, go grab. Don't give away the
puppet.
puppet.
Literally this garbage, John.
oh, I bet he took his puppet's pants off. He's going to show us now. Gobo doesn't have that problem. He has no body. So
Gobo has.
although I guess
Gobo.
I did just show you in his puppet orifice. That's not
He's
great.
oh yeah. Gobo has other issues going on. He's.
I got nobody.
We'll have to record.
Nobody.
I'll have to record some inserts to promote our friends over at Kokomo Toys. Okay, so
Yay.
I'll go back and do that. I'll take it from one of the old episodes.
Certainly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Hey, before we completely wrap up here, we're going to give away a vintage, a retro collectible from our friends, the fine folks over at Kokomo Toys and Collectibles, locally located in Kokomo,
Thank you.
Indiana. But hey, the great news for you is no matter where you are in the world, you can shop there. Go to kokomotoys.com to find out just how.
All right.
If you can pay them a visit, you should definitely do that. That place is giant and packed full of toys.
Woohoo.
Anyway,
I wanna
so
go.
thanks to Kokomo. So this is what we're going to do today.
You
I'm gonna
shouldn't
write
go,
this
John.
down before I forget here.
Okay. Huh.
Okay. So look, they gave us so much stuff to give away. It's hard to decide what to give away. So we'll find a winner first, and then I'm gonna just rattle off some different franchises. You tell me which is your favorite, and I will send you
like
something
dealer's
from one of those
choice.
franchises.
Oh.
So whoever won is going to kind of get to pick. That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a cool way
yeah.
to do it.
Now, you know,
Yeah.
and whatever
This
you good.
This is like second grade. Like if I'm good, then I get to come up to the teacher's desk and she has a box of little toys and I get to pick the one I want.
Prizes.
Right?
Yep.
I picked the pencil that had a whole bunch of different colored leads in it. You could take it out of the front, put it in the back, and like this.
Oh,
So that's what I got. Every time I was good twice, I got one of those pencils.
I think I still
John.
have one of those.
How you use that pencil, John? It sounds like exactly something we're going to do on our OnlyFans. What was it again?
Gonna take the tip off of one end and put it into the back end of the other one.
Yeah.
And it changes color. Yeah,
Oh,
just like
cool.
that.
Mhm.
Oh dear.
There you
Oh
go.
dear. Oh no.
Gotta come up with a price point for that.
Can't we just
All
show
right,
off our
hey,
shoulders?
folks that are with us right now live. Let me put hashtag
Pencil porn.
Kokomo.
Didn't think you were gonna get that on the
Kokomo. Hashtag Kokomo. I can't get a word in with you guys this week. Hashtag Kokomo.
You're the one that brought up OnlyFans. What do you expect?
I know, but then I move on. Follow, come with me to the rest of the show.
Oh, that's for OnlyFans too, I guess, huh?
Hashtag come with me for the rest of the show.
Just the first part.
Hashtag KOKOMO if you want to win. And see, folks are putting their just put that in the comments, and then we will spin a wheel of sorts and see who
They're
won.
going with you,
And then
Will. They're
I got-
following directions.
Good. There's going to be so much editing this week. Jesus. Maybe you guys will hang out with me for 5 minutes, and I'll do the inserts for Kokomo.
Thumbs up.
Maybe.
3 minutes. I'm just going to pluck you out of an old episode where you're like, awesome.
Yeah, pluck you too, pal.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. Anybody who wants to win, I'm going to assume is in there now. Hashtag Kokomo. Why? Where's my little thing?
You're
Let's
right,
see.
Karen. We're all punchy.
Present, share screen. You know what? I'm having a drink that's lightly sweetened.
Oh.
It has cane sugar in it, but not very much. Oh, it has
Oh.
17 grams. I guess that's a lot of sugar.
Cerveza Cristo.
I can edit
Hold it up, Will.
I can tell when sugar's getting to me when I start shaking my legs. Do you guys do that? You know, you start bouncing
Oh.
your knee,
Hmm.
bouncing on your feet.
Probably, but I've never really paid much attention.
All right, here we go. The wheel is spinning. The wheel is
I'm
spinning.
going to
and
add
the
it to the
winner.
stage. Oh, I tried.
Thank you.
Whoops, you did it. Okay, there we go.
Brandon Greer.
Congratulations.
Brandon.
Excellent.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, Brandon.
Now
Yeah.
you've won. Let's find out what you won.
Yeah. So look, I'm going to give you these 5 franchises. You tell me which franchise, and I'll send you something collectible from one. From one of these franchises. You can pick from Disney, DC Comics, or DC, I guess. Because some of it might be film related.
Mhm.
Marvel, again, it's comic those characters. Game of Thrones, or got cars, like Hot Wheels, Matchbox cars, that sort of thing.
Oh.
You don't have to let me know right now, Brandon. You can let me know when you get a chance, and I'll find out how to get those over to you. All right. Congratulations, Brandon. All right, folks, let's get the hell out of here, right? All right. Hey, next week, I think we're doing a true crime. It's not really a crime, but it's an interesting story that was put together by our very own Marcus Taylor.
Oh, yay.
So join us for that. The only thing I will tell you, it's the origin. Can we even say this, Marcus? Is this too revelatory? I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything yet.
It's a secret.
So join us next time. Okay. Hey, we will talk to you next time on 1980s Now.
Until next time.
Colts.
I'm gonna so we got to add a horse braying every time you say that. All right, Brandon says Marvel. Okay, Brandon, I'll reach out to you, Brandon. I'll see what we got. We can get you over there from Marvel. Got a few things. Missed his calling as a Foley artist, but not as an asshole.
Oh
no, he nailed that.
Oh no!
He's thinking of Field of Dreams. Oh, hey, go, come back. Kid, because we love. All right.
It's on my contract. That's the role that I play here on the show.
I'm gonna bring up my Kokomo.
Kat would never be so mean to me.
He's on the left-hand side.
She's never. I mean, Kat's never even joked with you like something like that, right? I mean,
one time I teased him or made a joke, and then I messaged him and apologized because
like immediately after.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Hey, you hit me in a dream. You better wake up and apologize.
Let's see here. Here it is. There we go. Okay. All right. I'm just I'll add this in at the beginning. All right.
Okay.
So let's see. What I usually do is, I didn't tell you about Gen X Grown Up either. I skipped that part too. Okay. So here I'm joined by my friends, Kat, and all right. So let's just go do that. My name's Will, and joining me I don't know how this will plug in, but whatever. Joining me as always are my friends and co-hosts, Kat and John. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hey, hello.
And before I forget, because we could make it through the whole show and then I'd have to record this and add it in back to the beginning, but I'm not doing that now because I'm remembering to say, please remember to check out John, because in addition to his co-hosting duties here, he also hosts his own podcast, Gen X Grown Up.
Do, do, do.
Thank you.
There you go. Yeah.
Good times.
Want that? All right, there you go. Hey, and today, as we have been doing every week since we started recording again in 2024, we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube to include you in the show. So follow us on Facebook and or subscribe on YouTube to join us next time. And you're going to want to, maybe, because on many episodes, just like this one, we're going to be giving something away, because this episode's brought to you by the amazing folks at Kokomo Toys and Collectibles. More horns. There you go.
Yay!
Thanks to Kokomo, we're going to be giving away some pop culture collectibles to someone in our live audience.
Ooh,
There you
can't
go.
wait to see who wins.
Who will it be?
I don't know.
Which of
Do
our
you guys want to make a
eyeballs?
prediction? You want to make a prediction about who it could possibly be? I mean,
Trollbot.
I don't even know who that is. Who would Trollbot?
No.
Is that someone who's ever joined us before? Huh?
I think it
Wow.
was the first time. I've never seen
Cat's
it
not,
before.
Cat's not following.
What? What did I
We're
miss?
talking as if we're in the past. We don't know Trollbot. John's making a prediction. All right. So we come.
He's tripping me up.
Before I'm going to add this in for the end
What,
here. Hey,
Kat, did you say we're keeping you up? Is that what you said?
Well, you're doing that too, but you're tripping me up.
Hey, once again, I want to say thanks to our today's sponsor, Kokomo Toys. They're the largest toy store in the Midwest. All right, not blowing smoke. You can go there, check it out. It's easily over 5,000 squeet or 5,000 square. It's about 5,000 square feet of toys from the 70s, 80s, 90s, the era in which we grew up. And they have current stuff too. It's family owned and operated. They got a brick and mortar location, but they also have an online store too. So you can go there and visit them in Kokomo, Indiana, or you can go to kokomotoys.com to find out how you can get your hands on your next collectible.
All right, go to
that's
Google
good.
Maps
That's good
and
enough.
see
There you
how far the drive is to Kokomo, Indiana. Right now.
I think it's 4 hours from here, John. So you come here first, and then we'll drive together.
Just
That's
go there first.
right.
We'll go. So it's only 4 hours from Will's. Just the time
Yeah.
to get to Will's is
So
irrelevant,
short.
of course.
And the flight to me from you is probably like 3 hours. So
It's probably much quicker.
3.5 hours,
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
Is there airport in Kokomo?
I'm guessing probably not. Probably not.
No, probably not.
You better not be skipping over Will if you head to Kokomo.
Mhm, right.
The line from Jacksonville to where I live is does not go anywhere near Allentown or Pennsylvania for that matter. You don't have to fly over that state at all. In fact, if he has a layover, they'd probably send him to Dallas, and then he'd be directly south of me, more or less. Maybe not directly. Right, whatever. We'll get Cat. Cat will be here when you arrive, John. If I tell her you're coming, Cat will already be here.
She'll be here. How far apart are you? What's the drive between you?
6 hours, about 6 hours, six and a half. No more
Yeah,
than
just
6
6
and a half,
hours.
yeah.
See, if you want to fly to Cat and then drive here, and then drive to Kokomo, we'll be driving for 10 hours. So that's a lot of driving. But
Well,
That's
John
not
and I would have a fun road trip to you. That's all I can say.
oh, Miss
We
So
would,
says it's
yes.
it's 6 hours away from Miss So we can meet Miss So there too. That'd be
Oh.
awesome.
All right.
We still gotta,
It'd be
we
a
still gotta
trick
come
getting
up
Miss
with
So out of the house. We've tried to get her to many events.
Is that right?
She teases. I'm going to be there. I got to back out. I'm going to be there. I can't make it this time. So I'm not sure she exists, quite honestly. Other than her generosity and patronage, I feel like she's a figment of someone's imagination.
a very sophisticated, supportive bot.
Yes, right. Yes.
Jeez. Yes.
Like the opposite reason most bots are created. She's actually gives
Right.
love and adoration and support.
It's a kindness bot. It's a
kindness
very
bot.
strange bit of AI. Yeah.
Yeah, we still. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
shame.
She
that
even says,
SFG
very true. She knows. Very
She's-
true.
it's a shame that SFGE is so, I guess, southern in the country.
Yeah.
And not
More central would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Although,
Yeah.
quite honestly, I don't know if you mapped all our listeners are where that would necessarily help. They may all be in Georgia for
All
all
over.
I know.
Yeah.
Except for Miss O, who's 6 hours away from Kokomo.
And did you say Brandon made a decision? He's going with Marvel. Did you catch that?
Yes, I did mark that
already?
down.
Okay,
So I'm going to
okay.
shoot him an
Okay,
email
good.
and give him some options.
There you
And
go.
find out
Brandon.
where to send it. All right,
There you
guys.
go.
Thanks for joining us again in the live stream. We appreciate your support as always. Look forward to talking to you again.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Enjoy
That
your
was fun.
Spider-Man bookmark, Brandon.
I'm making it right now. Is it Spider-Man or Spider-Man?
It doesn't
with
matter.
one
It's a
word?
bookmark. You don't see it anyway. Just whatever.
All right.
Use
No,
bubble
since
letters
it's
to make it
bookmark,
more
I feel,
fun.
but I feel a special
pronounce
pressure
it
to spell it
Spider-Man.
right. Spider-Man. So it's
Put
a
a hyphen in
lowercase
it
m.
then.
The lowercase m then.
Do you know how to draw a spider web?
I don't, but what I did was one of those really cool S's as the beginning of the Spider-Man.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, the Rock S. That's a
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
winner there. The cool S. That makes it the official logo for sure. Are we going to see it? Is he drawing it? We're going to see it momentarily.
Yeah, I screwed it up already. I thought I
What if
remembered
Will
how
was
to draw
secretly
it.
an amazing artist and he brings up a piece of art and we're just all stunned?
We'd go.
What are the odds?
It's not coming out so well. I can't even make the S. Turns out
He wants
That's
the
right.
bookmark.
We still want to see it. We still want to see it.
Will
there's like
Brandon
a way
wants,
where you what?
you need to send that along because he wants you to make him a bookmark so he
Oh,
can use
there you
it
go.
when
Yep.
your book is published.
He says,
Oh,
Will,
that's
make
very
me a
sweet of you.
bookmark so I can use it when your book is published. So he would
That's
like
very
you
kind
to
of
send
you.
along with his Kokomo prize
Yeah,
a hand-drawn Will bookmark.
I
it's
can't
something
wait.
like
Be
this,
Spider-Man
right?
or whoever.
Oh,
S. I can't remember. Something like that.
That's the
But there's a
S.
trick-
Yeah, you're good with the
there's a
S.
trick to doing it though.
Well,
I
it
don't remember.
looks pretty tricky. It's good.
Brandon, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll get you a bookmark done.
all right.
I will practice my Spider-Man right now.
And we all want the book.
He's going to tear a corner off the page of some other book and just love Will on the corner of it.
I will send you a 1980s now bookmark. I will cut apart one of our postcards.
Oh,
All right. All right, Brandon, I'll reach out. That's it, right? Okay, guys. Have a good night. Check you later.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for being here, everyone. Have a good
Thank
night.
you to our OnlyFans.